Hey!
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
We did it. We're
Hey.
here. Oh, I should host this.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Just disappear.
Hello.
Am I?
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
can see my own preview.
I see her
That's
as well.
crazy.
We see you.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
a great mouse.
I see a gray
her.
in
I see her.
Discord. Yeah.
But half the chat can see me.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's
Uh-oh.
It says, Joe,
not for me,
you're
though.
muted.
We're really good.
And Joe's muted apparently.
There, we're good.
It's all coming
Okay.
together, y'all.
Okay.
Are you, can they hear
We
you
did
now?
Is Joe still muted?
Wow. This is what happens when we don't have a technical director.
That's
Let's
one
just
of the reasons
say-
you have a tech
I'm
director,
muted.
yeah.
I am definitely
Let's
not.
just point out how
We got
important,
it.
how wonderful having a tech director the rest of our episodes
Oh my god.
is.
Agreed.
Indeed.
Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to the
Hey.
Eclipse cast and crew Q&A. We've got our good friend Alex Frew hosting for us tonight. I'll pass it over to him in a moment. As you can see, we do have a fundraising goal that is up. We're not going to push on that tonight. We are going to do a fundraising event in a few weeks. We're going to organize with some sci-fi games and perhaps a one-shot that we'll tweet about. But if you want to contribute, it is there and you can do so, and that is our goal. But for now, let's just jump into our Q&A. Yay!
Awesome. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me along for the ride. I'm going to keep an eye on chat for some questions for the cast and crew. Also, I've got Kendra feeding me some questions as well from chat, so I don't lose anybody. If I miss it, I'm sorry. If I mispronounce your name, I am also sorry. But yeah, let's get things kicked off. The first question that I have, because I get to host this, so I get the first question. This one's for Josephine and probably Michael, but what inspired you guys to ultimately create Eclipse?
Good question.
Well, it started with a dream. No,
That would be cool. That's like the cool creative answer.
we were walking around PAX South, and I saw the book, and I was like, "That looks cool," and I picked it up, and I was like, "This is really short and not complicated," and I was like, "I'm gonna buy this," and it was like $10.
Yeah.
And then I said, "It would be cool to do a sci-fi horror RPG sometime."
Well,
And-
what it was is
yeah.
also so many of our
He'll be fine. He'll be back.
many of our many
We're
of
good. We're
our friends who are on the show, Patrick, Brian, and Brandon are in Texas, and we had been wanting to, like, this is pre-pandemic that we bought Mothership, and so we were saying like, oh, this would be like fun to do, you know, remotely via webcams, just because it's sci-fi and space, so we could be in different rooms. We had originally thought about doing a podcast where it was like everyone's in different areas of the ship and has to like kind of find their way back to each other. And then the pandemic hit, and then it was like, well, this would still be a good idea to do remotely. you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
The idea was it would be cool to see that kind of story play out on the webcam. It kind of works with a webcam because you could have like person in a part of the ship and they'd be like talking to the camera. And so we were gonna have it really involve like the camera a lot more, where people would be kind of coming in and like tapping the camera and doing stuff to kind of like break the fourth wall a little bit.
Yeah, but what I think what motivated us to actually do it, because right, like everyone, fellow creators will understand like having a million ideas, like that would be cool, this would be cool, I've got this idea to do this, but like what actually motivated doing it is the fact that the pandemic hit. So many of my creative friends were not able to get together and make things.
Yeah.
And I just, for me, it was motivated by just wanting to have something that we all could work on, that my friends and loved ones could like focus on and put some creative effort into and have fun. So, you know, do it for your friends.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that when I was watching, I was like, that's the first concept that hit me. I was like, a space RPG story where everyone is kind of in their own part of the ship, and visually it just makes sense. I was like, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
So our next question is from Guy Vox. It's a lore question. They say, if present-day Earth is still in the Shroud, what happens to all the space probes we send out if the solar system is not what we really see?
That's a good question.
Write more story, Michael, right now.
Go.
If our present day
they're not
Earth were still in the
currently in this-
Shroud, I see. Is that what you're saying? Like, if our present day Earth were still in the Shroud, where would all the probes go?
Yeah, you can't say currently anymore because
Right,
technically
it's-
Right, we're not.
those are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the way that alien technology works is it kind of operates on different like dimensional frequencies. So it's like instead of like light waves, it's kind of like dimensional waves of like time and space kind of combined. That's my kind of go-to response. It's
Space magic.
yeah, it's kind of got we're kind of mixing a little like mysticism into it a little bit, and that's part of like one of the appealing parts to why we want to keep it a little vague.
I assume they just took a Polaroid picture and put that on the front of all the cameras of each satellite, and that was.
Yeah, that's
Like
the
Mission
Patrick said.
Impossible 3.
I
You
just,
just-
you know, like, keep it simple. Yeah, exactly. Little flip down, done.
I feel like that wouldn't work. It wouldn't focus right.
Just constantly.
Awesome. So our next question comes from Sprinkles the Dragon Cat. They say, if anyone can switch characters to play in Eclipse, who would you choose? For example, Josephine plays Dr. Ruha.
Interesting.
Literally.
I think I might want to play. You want to play Peter?
Wait, who wants to play Peter?
Damn.
Jasmine.
How many people want to play Peter?
I'd take a stab at it.
I'd play Peter.
I kind of want to play Buck.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
want to play Buck.
Yeah, that
Let's
makes
I-
sense.
Freaky Friday.
I think I'm in the Buck bandwagon too. He's
Yeah,
just
come
so
on, let's do
happy
it.
too.
It's all about
Yeah,
costumes, you guys.
I have so much less to worry about.
It's hard not thinking that hard, you know?
Yeah.
It's
What
always
about
important.
what about you, Brandon? Who would you want to play?
Yeah, I said I think I'd go for Peter. I think that could
Peter.
be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and for those who don't know, I feel like we should introduce. 'Cause this is the face. Well, actually, it says Stargrave under your face. So
It's labeled.
anyway, Brandon does all of our
Hi.
music and is absolutely wonderful. Here's the face to the music.
Although I the only reason I say Buck is because it's something I don't normally play.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would, if I was to have played a human, it would have been more like Tommy.
Interesting.
Because that like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. Yeah.
He hates everything.
I think what I like about Peter's character is because he's an android, he's like has permanent like weirdness. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how wholesome
built
he
in.
is, even when he's like,
Yeah.
"Would you like my assistance with that?" You're still like, "Oh God."
Yeah.
You're like, "Are you feeling all right?" You're like, "Oh God." Like even when you're nice, it's gross, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I love it. That's one of the
No,
things
that's
that
what I
attracted
like
me
about
to
it. That's
the
why I want to take a crack at it.
Yeah. That was why when androids have that ability, they, regardless of what's happening, whenever anybody has a fear check within their vicinity, they do it at disadvantage because everybody is creeped out by the
Everyone's
fact
like,
that there's an android there, which I just love was built into the game, and I was like, that's awesome. Like,
What about you,
I
Michael?
think
Yeah,
I
they-
identify with permanent weirdness, so I think that's why Peter works for me.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun to play the captain of the ship because there's a lot of like agency with it. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd necessarily be like a Kiko
I
captain.
mean, you basically are Captain.
I
of the ship
want to
right now,
see you
right?
be
Let's talk
Kiko.
about
I want to
agency.
see you be Kiko, though.
But I like the Buckford character because it's real kind of classic like aliens kind of character.
Yeah.
Peter's fun though,
Space
just
trucker.
because it's like
Yeah.
you can do your own take on like what the androids are, and you kind of define it because
Yeah.
he's the only android, so
Yeah,
he's like,
it's
you can
true.
define what androids are for the whole world.
Right, and it was like we were just kind of making it up as we went along. I was like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how did everybody kind of meet each other?
wow.
as in people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joseph,
Yeah, not-
Like in real life?
Josephine and I met at a BlizzCon. Josephine, Michael, and I met at a BlizzCon a couple
Oh
of years ago
shit!
for the first
I was
time.
like, what
we
are you
had
talking
dinner
about?
together.
Dinner, yeah.
We had dinner together at a weird group dinner sort of situation. We talked for a bit, but we didn't really talk
I
until
complimented
LA by
I
Night.
complimented your bracelets, and I think you thought I was weird.
No weirder than anybody else at that table.
Yeah.
How did
But
you
yeah, we didn't
compliment him
really-
is now what I'm wondering.
We didn't really speak until LA by Night, and then I
Yeah.
met Brian and Patrick through you. We had a hangout one day at the Huntington Gardens,
Right.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
and then I've technically never met Brandon in person. And,
No one has. No one
Just
has.
his
No one has.
incorporeal
Weird.
form.
Yeah.
and then Jasmine and I met at Geek and Sundry.
Interesting.
No, it was D&D Live.
Was it?
Ooh.
I thought we
Don't
met
even
when we were
remember.
sitting in the when you were doing that thing. We were sitting in the kitchen of Geek and Sundry. Was that second time?
That was no.
You
That was the
definitely,
second time,
yeah, you
the
definitely
first
already
time-
knew. You already knew Jasmine at that point because I was like, "Can you introduce?" I was like, "I've always wanted to meet her," but I was in my weird Eva, like,
I was
Wait,
on stream
what?
telling the story of how I met Josephine, and how I avoided eye contact with her the entire time because she was in full white face like for Eva, but she didn't have her makeup on yet, and then she had all her hair slicked back in a wig cap. So she looked like Gollum from like Lord of the Rings. It was, and I couldn't like stop like laughing or smirking. So I was like trying. So I was like trying to avoid like looking at her, even though I was being nice. I was like, "Oh hi!" I was like trying to avoid looking at her because I kept fighting this impulse to like go like Precious. Because y'all, you haven't seen her when she's.
which
And
is
I-
like
I don't
hilarious.
even remember that.
Because
Like-
because Alex was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go say hi to Jasmine and everything." I was like, "Oh, can I come with you?" I was like excited to meet you, and apparently, I just freaked you out. This seems to be a trend.
It was intimidating. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like she looks so scary right now." Once you have like the full wig on and everything, you look lovely as Eva. But it's like an Animorphs cover when you're like
Yeah.
in the in
No, I look horrifying in the in between. In fact, everyone here has seen me in horrifying states because I worked at a haunted house at House of Torment with Brian and Patrick and Brandon. It's where I met Michael too, and so that's where we all connected. Was working at a haunted house in Austin, and so
Oh,
it
red.
was so much more disgusting
Yeah,
versions
they've all
of
been
me.
friends for a
Yeah.
lot longer than we've been in there.
Yeah.
Jasmine and I have been in their
Yeah.
lives.
Okay. Okay.
We
rad.
Yeah, I met just about everyone here through the game, except for Josephine and Alex. And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, you know, Miguel too, because we had Indian food together
Mm-hmm.
and hung out before the game.
Yes.
And that's when y'all pitched the game to me. I think was not at Indian food, but later.
Yeah.
You don't pitch, at dinner.
That was right before the
Yeah,
pandemic hit.
That
was like-
later.
Let me write this down. Hold on.
That was just before the pandemic hit. We were the only ones in the restaurant.
Yes. It was
Yes.
right before.
And
Oh,
someone
yeah,
drove
it
a
was.
car onto the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yes, and we were getting
Dude.
Yeah.
we were getting the evil eye from the owner.
Yeah,
my
that was
gosh.
such a weird
Well, the-
night. It was such a weird.
What did you do wrong?
We like opened
A
the
lot of weird
door
stuff
to
happens in
leave
our
the
life.
restaurant, and there was a car there, like that had pulled up to the door, like over the sidewalk and everything, because it was
Wow.
raining, and I guess the gutter was overflowing.
They wanted-
and so we opened the door, and there's just headlights, and I was like, "Are we in hell?"
Oh, I thought you were like
What's
sideways. It's
happening?
like at the door.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We were like
That's-
blinded,
no,
like
that's
we opened the door, and we were just like, "There's just headlights and a car there." And I was like,
It's a
and I'm
Stephen
from
King
Seattle,
movie.
so I was like, what the fuck is wrong with LA? Like, this is why I don't come here. There's like cars on the sidewalk and like the
right.
gutters are
Yeah, crazy.
overflowing. It was the weirdest weekend, but I feel like we
Well,
bonded.
speaking
Yeah.
speaking of odd happenings at restaurants, the next question comes from Odd One, wanting to know what
Nice.
happened to Chen's noodle cook Ken, and did Kiko ever replace the escape pod?
The escape pod.
What do we do with an escape pod?
I think we put
Someone,
the
who's got
fragment
the-
in
the
it, or the
wiki?
key in it, and jettisoned it. Didn't we?
Oh yeah.
We yeeted one, right?
Yeah, we
I threw one out
yeeted one.
in space.
Yeah,
But I
you
think
did
there's
I think we
more-
put something in the escape pod and sent it somewhere, but I don't remember what it was.
Who's working on this Wikipedia? For us? Can we,
Yeah,
so-
seriously, let's check that out.
So if
I-
the question is continuity, we're
And yes.
Super loose with continuity.
very loose.
what do you think is best? Because that's it. That's
Hey,
it.
We landed at Shard and we got upgrades and
Yeah, we
food replenish.
refreshed.
I'm pretty certain we
We
would
would have replaced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Engineer.
time
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
uh,
not. I wouldn't have let us leave without that.
I don't know
Has
what
a
happened to
black
Ken.
card, right? So it's
Check-
unlimited
sent it to
spin.
the repair bay.
Well,
Yeah,
wait,
in
what was the?
Shard. Yeah,
And
they
then
would've
and
The cook.
Ken
They would've
uh
placed it there.
The cook
Ken's
wasn't
cook.
did
Ken.
no Chen's cook Ken.
Oh, Chen's cook Ken. So, yeah.
I don't.
Where's
I'm
he
leaving
been?
Neuro.
Is he on the ship?
No.
No,
No,
he didn't.
we
He
didn't
never
have
got
him.
on.
He didn't go with
No,
us.
He did not
Yeah.
come along.
He did.
He's likely
Looking
dead.
for someone?
He's dead.
He became,
Yeah.
as you
Wasn't
might
he mostly broken when we brought him into the basement?
Yeah, they made them whole.
No,
It was
he
an
was,
android,
he was just
wasn't it?
hiding
No.
during the big fight.
No, that was
right?
the
No,
other.
there's a cook and there's an
There was
android.
an android and a cook.
Right, the
but,
cook like peeked around the corner after
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fight, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't even in that episode.
Where Tommy massively failed.
We obviously really know the answer to this question.
The cook.
I
never
thought you
made
were
it off.
softball these
Well-
questions, Alex.
The cook never made it off, and the android was all in pieces. But yeah,
I
That's a
figured
spin- it's a
the
spin-off show.
escape pod trivia was a softball. But
You overestimated us very.
I did. Well, this one is directly for Jasmine about the relationship between Dr. Ruha and Carter. It was a fun experience to watch, and curious how much of that was improvised on the spot versus talked about beforehand.
So some of it was improvised on the spot. Some of it was talked about 5 minutes before the show. I always had this like headcanon for Ruha that there was a reason she didn't use her money, because I find rich characters in sci-fi settings to be really boring because they make all their problems go away with money. So I was like, well, there's got to be a reason she's like hiding out back. And I was like, maybe, she's got like a jilted lover that she shares an account with or whatever. And the second she swipes her, Visa, he's going to know where she's at.
Oh God.
So I had this idea where she had ghosted someone because, although she like a Dr. Phil type that does this stupid, basically relationship counseling for celebrities thing, that she wasn't actually good at that because she's more of like a clinical psychologist. She's more into brain and behavioral experiments. So I said that to B-Dave before, right, like 5 minutes before the show when we were in the call. I was like, oh yeah, like my character kind of ghosted you, so feel free to use that. And I thought he was going to say it as like, oh yeah, because your character is, emotionally immature or whatever, because sometimes she is. And instead, he gave everybody a solid reason why he would get ghosted.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was all improvised, and I loved it. And he was
Yeah.
like, I wasn't going to throw you under the bus. He was like, I feel like, if your character left, I wanted to give you a damn good reason to leave. And so, yeah, that was all improvised. And
great.
it was amazing. And
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
hated him so much.
yeah,
I think
his
we all
character was
did.
the worst, but it was so great.
Yep. He ruined everything.
It was so great to watch that.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, so this next question comes from Anne Blue. How much did Josephine and Alex know about Kiko's backstory, i.e. the morality chip, before it happened?
I didn't.
Yeah, let's just say that we do episodes and we're like, oh, I have an idea.
Oh, baby.
and then that idea happens. So if there are things that that come up that don't necessarily make sense with previous behavior, it could be that. Because that idea came up.
You told me about it early on, like
not
early. It was like
the season had already been happening.
It was within the week of the episode.
Yeah, but I don't think Alex knew until the night of. Yeah.
Sorry, I have a clumsy cat. My apologies.
Love it.
Cat break.
Yeah, I think I told Alex the night of, and then yeah, I didn't know the extent of it or what exactly. I gave a broad idea, something that the Marines
Yeah,
have
I
fucked
think,
with.
and I'm sure you told me something, and I promptly forgot it,
Yeah,
and I just went with it.
that sounds about
Nice.
right. And I try to if I have a vague idea, I try to keep it vague, and then Michael can detail it out, as well.
Right.
Gotcha.
But I think I only really did that in first season because we were kind of finding our characters and what we wanted to do.
It was trying to figure out a reason, like why would she have just lied to all these people and just brought
and
them on
also
the ship?
I think at that point, at the beginning when we had that whole concept, I didn't know if it was just going to be one season of just a horrific
Right.
event, right, that we're all going to witness. And when I was oh, I think we people are watching, people are enjoying it, I think we could do this longer, then I was there has to be something else because otherwise Kiko sucks, otherwise why the fuck would you stay, because it was either gonna be there has to be a reason, there has to be something that keeps you around, to have some arc and some change, or she has to die. That was in my mind the two options. So I mean either one was viable, but
Nice. Yeah. Well, this one is for Patrick. Tommy became dependent on the Sycorax at one point. What was it like for you? Yeah, what was it like for you to kind of play through that moment?
Well, that was interesting. Because that was pure in the moment. You get shot up with it, now you have to deal with it. God, I'm waiting for it to come back and affect Tommy in a big way.
You mean
I mean, other than the pinky's not that bad.
Yeah.
Compared to what
I mean,
an
you just
addiction could do to you
in
the
a big
deep of
way, and it
space.
was, it's a
Yeah,
pretty
it's
big pinky. I'm just saying.
I'm
This
so.
thing?
Oh God, I was certain that was just something that you hallucinated that we all took as actually happening, and then Michael just ran with it.
No, when he ran with it. I guess the scary thing about I can't imagine being stuck out in space and being physically addicted to a substance like that and not having access to it. That's extremely scary, especially with the body modifications that are happening. I have no idea what it does. As a character, I have no idea what it's going to do to me or could do to me. And I'm not the only one who uses it on the ship, so.
Yeah.
No.
Boy.
It was
Yo, I was desperate. It was only me and Tommy. Everyone else kept failing their saves.
Oh my God.
And I in that moment, as a player and as a character, I was we've jumped twice. My character's thrown up and barely on her feet. I failed both body saves on the jumps. So I was
here we go.
Let's get out of here.
Which is right in line with everything that happens to Tommy. So
Yeah, it was so much fun watching Michael play through that and say, your body wants that, and seeing the dice come up the way that they did, and you just kind of staring at each other and having that moment. That was beautiful. But we got a question from 229 Days that is asking about the pinky. They want to know if the super pinky was planned from the start.
All right, first off, I said no questions about the pinky. I specified that.
The way it works in the game itself, there's a rule set for whenever you use Sycorax that'll cause a mutation, and there's a table that you roll, and it's a random mutation. And I interpreted that.
Oh, fun.
I interpreted that to fit our game specifically, because some of the stuff that happens is like crazy, that would involve like cyber mods. So like it would like some of the stuff is like you go like metal scales in your body, and it's like it wouldn't make any sense if you didn't have a cyber mod though. Like why would metal come out your body? But there's all kinds of crazy stuff that happens. Bye, Alex.
There goes Alex. You're...
What just happened?
I like that. This is what's.
we got free advertising.
This is what happens when you play with an Android. Yeah.
That's right.
It's just
No,
rebooting.
my camera kept, and so I was just like, "What is happening with it?" I just unplugged it and replugged it back in.
Okay.
Nice.
Continue.
So this next question is for Brian. With the Destiny having jumped this last time out with Earth's destiny up in the air, what was going through your mind as you left the place that you once called home?
What was Buck thinking leaving Earth? After, well, there was Buck grew up in New El Paso. Was kind of my headcanon. So he was just kind of grew up on scrappy bits, fixing whatever he could do, and he was always about surviving and getting the paycheck. So Earth is a great place to get some food. I think he's always like trying to munch on as much as he can, stuff that's not like processed and synthesized. So Earth's where the good stuff is. So he probably wish he would have grabbed a couple of muffins off that snack tray in the spaceship.
Couple farm boxes.
Little Bebbies for the road.
When we roll our characters, there's like a random patch. You get like trinkets and stuff, and Buck has a patch that says, "Do you sign my paycheck?" And he's a Teamster, so I imagine he's all about the union, all about the books. And he's like a good old fashioned, like, I'm gonna work for my lunch and for my weekends.
Yeah.
And Kiko pays the check. She's like his boss and his landlord. So yeah, he's going where the job goes, you know.
Nice. Okay. Wherever the paycheck leads.
That's right.
When he was leaving Earth behind to be decimated, he was thinking about, I should have grabbed more food.
I'm just saying, we had those carbon crisps and all those little space snacks, but a bite of beef jerky.
This next question is from UNA Kron. Wants to know who is your favorite character and why is it Tommy?
No. No.
Next question.
For anyone that doesn't know in chat, that is Patrick in chat.
Is it?
You see that name?
Hold on. Is that? That's not. No.
Is that confirmed? I don't know.
What? I don't think that's confirmed. We've never.
Dang it. It was halfway out by the time that I realized it. I was like, you know what? I'll play with it. It's fine.
Gotcha.
So this one's for Michael. What does the preparation process look like in between episode sessions?
Good. It's not great. It's I've got a day job, right? So I work at a game company as my day job. I'm a concept artist. So the game prep happens like after work and like on my drives home when I'm like I'll call Brandon up and talk to him about ideas. So Brandon helps come up with story ideas too. So he's not just doing the music. I need someone to bounce my ideas off of. And season 1, I didn't have anyone. It was just me. And normally Josephine's the person I bounce ideas off of, but she's in the show, so I wanted her to actually be able to play the game. And so for season 2, I just told Brandon, I was like, I'm gonna call you. We're gonna come up with ideas together. But it's like after work, I'll call up Brandon. We'll take notes and kind of do like a little brainstorm session. It's like short. It's like 30 minutes. And then I'll spend the rest of the week, like I'll spend like 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, like on my phone typing up notes. And then I might do one longer session on like a Thursday and just like type up as much notes as I can. And then
While we watch Critical Role.
Yeah, I'll watch Critical Role and I'll type up notes for our show, and then on the Friday during the day I'll kind of run through it again, and right before we're prepping as Josephine's like getting the show ready to go, I'll like run through all my notes again one more time, like as I'm sitting in front of the camera ready for the show about to start, and then I'm like the majority of what I plan could go nowhere because of the way it's a game. So like I plan like to a point I plan, and then the rest of it's really up to the players, and like it's up to me to just come up with like something interesting if they go left. If I'm waiting for them to go right and they go left, I'm just trying to make sure I have enough filler to kind of like bring them back to where I want, or just run with what they're doing. So like lots of the stuff I think of is just like random character names, because I always want to make sure I have like a name for the NPC, and then like I'll have a couple notes, like a sentence or two about like what the NPC's supposed to do, what they're doing, and like how they might sound. And otherwise like it's pretty frantic just because I don't have too much time to plan it.
On
Gotcha.
For season 1 we pre-taped, right? So
that was the other thing.
We pre-taped on Sundays, so Michael would prep on the Saturday beforehand, basically.
Yeah, I spend like all of Saturday like typing up notes and just brainstorming.
But with this being live this season, yeah, it was just phone calls. I could hear him like lingering outside the door so that he could like end the call, like so I wouldn't hear stuff before he would come in like to the apartment, which was always fun.
There's a red sticker on the door.
It's pretty good. Like some of my favorite stuff was still like improvised. Like in season 1 with the holographic clerk, the store clerk, the surplus
that
plus.
broke me. I don't know why that broke me, but it broke me.
So good.
That came up. I thought of him because Jasmine made a comment, because my NPCs all sounded the same, and Jasmine was like, "Oh, these are all old men." She said they're all old men, and so I was like, shit, she's right.
She said cute little old men.
Said,
like, it was in a positive.
Yeah,
I did.
They all sound like cute little old men. And I was thinking, crap, like all my NPCs sound the same, and so I was like, the next story has to be completely different. And then like I thought it's gonna be like a hologram or person, and then like I just tried to make it as like weird as I could.
Would you like gun?
Yeah. We like
Dispensing
gun.
one gun.
Gun.
I think my favorite part was, oh no, are you over 18? Oh no. That's when I broke. Alex broke way before me.
I
Yeah.
broke immediately.
And I
I have no idea why.
Yeah, I know. You broke immediately as soon as he said, hello, welcome to, you broke. Yeah. And then for me, I like kept it
Yep.
together until I was like, yes, I want a gun. And then you're like, uh-oh. I think I didn't even know how to respond. I was just like, and you're like, okay.
Yeah,
This next question is definitely along the lines of that, but it's from Ann Blue wanting to know what was the biggest derailment across both seasons.
Oh God.
Well, okay, the episode in season 2 with Mumbai, that one I planned for them to get onto the television station for the entire episode, and instead they were on Mumbai like the whole episode.
Sightseeing.
They were sightseeing on Earth, and I didn't plan for them to be on. I was like they're gonna go to a space station. It's a television station, and the entire thing's gonna be like them going through different like sound stages and seeing different shows. And that was like what I planned for, and then it was like we're gonna be on Mumbai the whole time, and I was like, Mumbai, I haven't even planned for like. First of all, like I don't know anything about like actual Mumbai, so I was like, I have like very little like to plan for like the food stands and like all the kinds of like cultural references I might need to throw in, and then I was like NPCs are like out the window. I was like, I don't know.
And then I saved the world. It was fine.
I felt so bad because you've never given me like a note before, and that was the first time you gave me a note. You were like, I haven't written out like too much with Mumbai, so you take the lead on that.
Yeah.
On
I
like
had to
what
tell
things
Jasmine
look
to, like you tell me what it is because I don't know what it is.
And he was like, and then like have an idea for how you're gonna get to the station. And I was like, I would have a car, 100%. I would have a car. But then as soon as we got there, it was like herding cats for me too. Like you could actually see there's a point in the episode where I give up. After Tommy's like, I start looking through rooms, and Kiko's like, I want to go outside. I want to see Earth. And then there's like something else happened. I think
Yeah, it was me having a
like,
nervous breakdown over like the fact that
Yeah.
Asher touched the key, and
Yeah.
then Kiko was like, "Don't tell me about it," and I'm like,
Yeah, and you're tracking time until when you can actually tell her.
see, like
Still.
in real time where I, as Jasmine, was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And that was like me in character and as a player going to the bathroom, closing the door, and being like, like everybody's on a different track right now.
Yeah, that was the episode where like it worked out because B Dave really helped us out actually because it was all about him in a way. It was all about Carter and Carter's like what he was up to, and so like it guided the episode the right way it needed to go. But like that episode, I had planned for them to be on the space station the entire time. And I remember telling Brandon, I was like, "Yeah, they're gonna be on the station. It's gonna be great." And like,
That's all
and
we
then-
talked about when we had our call for that.
Yeah, we
that
had like
week.
a whole call about it.
Mumbai
and I
did
was
not
like,
come
"This is all
up
it's gonna
at
be."
all.
And then I was like, "Yeah, so it's actually gonna be on Mumbai." And I was like, "You have like Indian music, do you?" And I just
Oh,
like-
that's
that was
right.
actually someone
Nope.
in chat just posted my favorite. The thing that made me laugh harder than anything else that you did was the "Welcome to Cooking with Yam. I'm Yam, and we're cooking yams today," and that just murdered me.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Wait, it doesn't take much for us, let's be honest.
No, but it was just so stupid. And I was just why?
It's the right
Aliens
kind
in
of
a
stupid.
trench coat broke me.
Yeah.
When he did that, I immediately yeah.
Mhm.
It's just like
For me,
"You
it was
did
from
fucking did it."
season 1. I was watching, and when you guys went to the bar for the first time,
Oh,
and Michael was just like, "Welcome to bar. It's bar."
Yeah.
You
See,
don't
I
need to
actually
name anything else.
I thought of that like that wasn't improvised either. that was
Oh,
that was
okay.
planned
Nice sell.
because I was like well, if it's like a space station that's like got only one bar,
Yep.
all they've got to like the guy that owns the bar is gonna be like, put the fucking bar on the outside. Like it's the only bar in the whole space station. They have to go to bar.
Put up a sign that says bar. They'll
Yeah, it's
know.
just
Yeah.
like
no, that's accurate.
yeah. So I figured that would be the
There's a
like,
place
the-
next to me that has a sign that just says bar. And there's bars all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I figured like if you had met the
Like
the-
tattoo.
yeah, like
Right,
tattoo
tattoo.
parlors. Yeah, it just says tattoo. And you're just like,
Mhm.
okay, I guess I get a tattoo here.
Girls.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
write
Yeah.
girls.
That's it. So Sprinkles the Dragon Cat has a question for Jasmine. After
no.
confronting Dr. Ruha's ex, will we learn more about her past? Maybe why she became a doctor?
Oh my god. You know what's crazy about this is I wrote her jacked up backstory thinking it was never really going to come up because the first season of the show we're in deep space. It's an exploratory star charting mission, and then when all this came up, it's like we got to get this information out there. You probably know people at a TV station. I was like, oh no, this is going to be embarrassing for her because she always is like really like kind of low key, I feel like. And then at least like lifestyle wise, like I'm always, every time I've described her, I'm like, yeah, she's wearing like plain thermals and jeans. And even the way I dressed for the show was always like a waffle knit top and jeans. Like she's always like very low key and tries to be like one of the people, if that makes sense. And then we went to her house and I was like, oh no, they're going to figure out she's got like 12 seasons of a daytime TV show. You know, she's like Judge Judy rich. And I'm not upset it came up. I'm kind of, but it was definitely like, I don't know how to describe it. It was definitely like I was like, oh, this is gonna get deep quickly, or it's gonna get dark quickly. And
Yeah.
and B Dave and I have known each other for a while, and we've played in a lot of games together. So he picked up on a lot of small things, like she has a habit of picking up strays, and he said that.
I know.
And I was like, I've never directly said that, but he immediately, first episode in, he's on set for like 20 minutes, and he's like, oh, you've always had a habit of picking up strays. You've always needed a project. You know, she doesn't even know the names of half of these cats. And I was like, oh shit, like this is all stuff I wanted people to figure out over the course of like maybe halfway through season 3, like not season 2, you know.
Pop
So
the
that
can,
was
let him out.
yeah. So I'm
Man.
excited for that. I don't know if any more of her history will come out. I think meeting Kiko's mom makes that a lot more interesting, because I know people have had questions since season 1 where it's like, why is Ruha proficient in CQC? Or like, why does she have a master level in command? Like, because every time I'm like, oh, I'm proficient in this, I get plus 20%. People are like, isn't she a doctor?
But why though?
Yeah. Why though?
Yeah. I'm excited for people to find out why, because I'm sure after where season 2 ended, we'll dive into what she did before.
Holy cow. Yeah. And on the note of what happened with Kiko's mom, this one's for Josephine. So Kiko held back information from the crew in season 1 that turned an exploration mission into running for their lives. How does she feel now that Admiral Larson has pulled a similar move with her and the stakes are potentially Earth?
So, one thing you may have noticed is that when it comes to feeling things and processing emotions, Kiko's not superb at it, and at this point, it's like when you're so stressed out and so overwhelmed because there's so many things being thrown at you at once and being like revealed that it's like, I can't possibly address that right now while this is happening, you know? And so like, except she does that to the extreme where it's like, that's fine. I'll think about it later. I'll address it later.
Let Peter think about it.
Yeah, this is what Peter will help me. Someone will help me. I have all these people to help me. I don't need to come to terms with anything. But then it like slips out in moments, right? Like where it's like you see moments of it where it's like getting to her because you can't just keep doing that. And then she represses it again, and it's like everything's fine, and she just like pretends like nothing has happened that is to be concerned about. So I think the truth is she probably is scared shitless and like doesn't know how to process it, right? Like she doesn't know what she is supposed to do, because like how do you come to terms with like the person that raised you and is supposed to keep you safe is like, you know, fucked you over and like put sort of mind emotion suppressing things into your mind. And like, does your dad know? Like, I don't know, like who was it? How many people were aware? How many people okayed this, you know? Like yeah it's just like so many layers that
there's a checklist somewhere. How many eyes saw that?
Yeah, who said that was okay, and like when was it put in? I think that's one of the major things, is like at what point in her life, how long has it been there? Yeah, I don't know.
Is it all a game? Yeah,
we'll see if it unfolds. I think it's starting to unfurl where like at this point she's like, especially when we saw Earth like getting fucked over and sort of just yeah.
Did you say bucked over?
Bucked over?
Bucked over, yeah, it's getting bucked over.
Because I blew up the ship's defenses. I get it. All right.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say, I think a lot of us have gotten like, oh yeah, this is Kiko's process. She needs to go to the spa because she can't deal with it. You know what I mean? But like for the most part, I think like most of the crew's like, Kiko, go to Kiko, until you brought your mom on board, and that's when like even Peter was like, no, and that's like the first time even I was like, denial. I don't care. Like we all know you're in denial. You've been in denial since like forever. But like this, no.
Yeah. I think that moment for Kiko was more like, I'm not happy with anything that's happened. Like she's just as pissed off. It's just that she can't make that decision right then, and so she's just buying herself time by bringing like, I don't know if she was intending to not have repercussions for her, but it was more just like, I can't make the decision right now in these next 5 seconds, you know.
Well, and in that mode, Peter is pure like tactical. Like that makes no sense. Get it out of here. Like he was, you know.
Perfect.
Get it out of here.
This next question is half for Patrick and half for Michael. From Ann Blue saying, how did Tommy's background with the android Uprising come about? Was that from Michael or Patrick, or developed together?
That was from Patrick, and he told me what happened, and we ran with that. But it was very much Patrick came up with a backstory.
Yeah,
It was I wrote down a survivor of the Halifal incident, and then I think an episode or two in,
I think
Mike's
it was
like,
the
hey,
first episode.
yeah, but the like, hey, what is this though?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, all right, well here it is.
Yeah,
Here's the
he just
thing.
says like he's a survivor of the Halifal incident, and I was like, yeah, but what's the Halifal incident? Like, what
That
is
sounds
it?
interesting.
yeah,
but-
It was one of those like I didn't know, how much of it was going to come up, and then it was like, all right, I'll expand upon it, and then it was like, oh, it definitely needs to come up now.
Yeah.
And it helped shape and
Well,
mold.
right now.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, and then they provided an opportunity to get that out for the audience so that they can understand some of his weird quirks and whatnot as well. So that was great.
Yeah.
I think so I had written and made like the little bios, right, for everyone, like when we did that in season 1, like put out the little like
Those
sort
were
of
rad.
the
Yeah.
like info files, and so like I had like I kind of knew people's sort of like snippet bio, and so like I had heard about that, and I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes in where I was like, oh, Kiko should be there to like
Yeah.
brush all this under the rug and like take care of Tommy. And we didn't like
Wait, take care of Tommy?
we didn't like define that in any sort of like real way. I was like because Michael was like, well, like how would you do that? I was like, I don't know, erase his memory while he's in cryo sleep or something. Get Peter to do it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like because the biggest
Worth
fear
that.
of someone who's like been through
Right.
something like with an android uprising, like to then
Or
have
is
the
it?
android do it, but but it's not the android's doing at all.
Right.
Anyway, I just
Yeah.
thought that was fun.
Awesome. One thing that I thought that was super fun about this season, of course, the music was streamed live during the show. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of a couple of streams where that was happening, and the musicians were like running around like chickens with their heads cut off. So, Brandon, I want to know from your seat, what was scoring season 2 of Eclipse like live?
Yeah, so season 1 was really easy because they pre-recorded and I just made a track and sent it to Josephine and then she edited things. But for season 2, live streaming it was tricky, and of course we had our technical difficulties, as you do. Streaming is a pain in the ass, and adding the extra moving parts of live music makes it even more of a pain in the ass. So, but yeah, it came together pretty well. I was able to, I think, respond to the cues in the moments
Totally, so great.
Yeah, that was fun.
pretty effectively. And
Yeah.
so I think it worked out well. We were a bit anxious about trying to do it live, just because number one, all the technical aspect of just doing it live, but secondly, like not being able to plan the music and just improvisationally reacting to what's going on makes it trickier for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all worked out. It was great. Looking forward to doing more.
Awesome.
It's
Were
so
there-
cool for us as performing, like to hear, like to have like this mood music and sort of like it
Yeah,
feels
and
as-
likewise, like it's really cool to perform to a story that's happening. That's fun.
I had a question for you, Brandon, and this is an actual question. Just like I haven't spoken to Brandon about this either, but where did you come up with the inspiration for Stargrave? Why is it Stargrave and not like Beats My Jeeps?
Well, the Stargrave
Write that down.
sounds
Somebody write that down.
Man.
Somebody write that down.
Because I didn't think of
trademark
Beats
that.
Majits before. I totally would use that. Damn it.
See, this is how the show. I carry the story with this improvisation of mine.
All further questions will come from Michael today. That's
No.
I wish I had thought of Beats Majits.
So many questions about that.
Gee.
Working on my beat.
No, but seriously, how did you come up? Like, why is it Stargrave and why is it sci-fi bent?
So yeah, Stargrave was basically just encompassed a vibe that I was feeling musically and have been since I started getting into modular synth stuff like a couple of years ago. Just kind of like that dark space vibe. And Stargrave ended up being a phrase that I'm pretty sure Ashley, aka Pretty Heart Machine, said first. And I really liked it. and it stuck around, and I kept it.
Cool.
I have a question.
Now we're asking.
Since you,
Love
Hey.
it.
Sure.
We're the
By all
Kakaza.
means.
yeah, right. Since you helped like Michael plan the episodes, did that inform like what types of music you prepped?
Yeah, absolutely. That was part of what led to it, to be honest, because in season 1, I would talk to Michael and or Josephine about what happened, and then write a track, according to that and send it to her. But we needed to get ahead of that for season 2, obviously. So that was part of it. It played into it for sure. Yeah.
Are there any moments that stick out to you in your mind, thinking back on it, that you prepared a cue for that you were just like, fucking nailed it, yeah?
Close. I didn't even actually prepare the cue, but it worked perfectly. I had my water phone sitting on standby. And someone knocked on a spaceship door, and I was able to just tap it, and it was the perfect like metal with reverb, and like it just it rung out really nicely.
It's
Everybody
the best
loved
sentence ever. My water phone on standby.
I love
You gotta
water.
keep the water phone on standby when you're scoring. Trust me.
Okay, I've got a question for Alex. So Peter, at one point, picks up an old piece of android tech while the crew is asleep. Not looking for spoilers here, but are we going to find out what that was all about, or is that just his android Rubik's Cube?
No, you'll find out what that was all about. I took something that comes with when you make a character in Mothership, you roll for a random patch that's on your uniform, and you roll for a trinket, something that you just have. And I rolled a corroded android AI or AI core, I think is what it's called. Like it's a corroded android AI core, and it's just that was my trinket. So I incorporated that into the story. And
Nice.
there will be some next season. We will have a conversation about that. Yeah, it was, and it like and some stuff that hooks to that. Like I was texting Michael that last episode, being like, "Can I do this?" But I have an interesting. What are the moments out of these 2 seasons for all? I know. I just want to ask a question now because I'm interested. That like a moment that stood out for each of you, like something that was like you were in there and you were like, that was cool. Like, what is that thing for you?
I liked episode 1 with. I liked how well that worked with the forgetting and having everyone forget. I thought that was a fun way to start the season off, and like I think it worked out really well. And it was something that I thought of. I was like, it'd be cool if we had to reset their memories, and like because I knew it was a good group to do it with, because there's no like metagaming where like in this show, so like it was a good group to do it with, and so everyone would really play it off of like, oh, I've forgotten everything.
And suddenly it made sense because I kept telling Michael, like more in the producer hat mode, I was like, like make sure that people know like if there's any relevant information they need to know at the beginning, and just to refresh because it's been a while, between seasons and we might forget. And he was like, got it covered.
That was actually part of why we went with the memory wipe mechanic, just because we knew everyone would be loose and it would play well.
That was great. I loved it.
We were thankful for that, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
My favorite moment is episode 3 of season 1 when we were in cryo sleep and when everything went wrong, like Peter's terrible good day.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I think just because like because I was editing all the music in afterwards, and so like I got to see like how creepy it gets. Like it was creepy when we were playing it too. Like I remember being like, oh, so upset every time like we went, the puppy dogs, the cryo, like oxygen being cut off for Ruha. Like there was just so much stuff.
That was so much stuff happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a dark one.
It's one of my favorites, still for sure, just because there's so many things about it that kept me going like, what? Like, and then when there was something on the wing, I was like, whoa, it just kept adding.
The cactus was a good moment for me.
Oh.
The cactus.
The cactus was an amazing moment, especially because we had our stupid food like came late, so I walked away and I came back to a cactus. I was like,
I mean, that's basically how it happened for all of us. There was just a cactus suddenly, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that.
I
So
really,
that. Oh yeah, continue.
I was just gonna say, I really enjoyed the episode where we were being attacked on the outside, and everybody just kind of sprung to and had positions and things they were doing, and were like, "This is what my character does. I'm doing this," and we all kind of worked together and figured that out.
Yeah,
There's some,
cool.
Yeah.
great action, great, scary moments. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorites too. Was watching you guys kind of spring together and work as a team, because when you guys were attacked, I was like, "Uh-oh, is anybody like actually combat equipped? Like,
Do these guys know how to fight even?
do they know how to fight?"
Yeah, I mean, I guess the crew at that point they really don't know what each other's capable of. So,
Yeah.
I guess they still don't technically. Everybody's got so many secrets, but.
I have two. I have two that made me like very excited. One was going onto the derelict with Peter.
Yeah, that was good.
I was like actually scared. Because I play a lot of sci-fi horror games, and I was just thinking of like Dead Space, and every time Michael would describe the flickering lights, and he's like, the lights go out and you lose vision for a second and they come back on. And then we found like this body, and I'm like, we gotta cut it open, and like Peter making like sanity saves, and then like just finding a head floating in a room. It was so creepy, especially because I think it was just the two of us and Tommy's drone.
Yeah.
So I was like, like Miguel's right. We try not to metagame. So I was like, this is stupid. We're gonna die. And I think like I had told Alex afterwards, I was like, this is the stupidest thing we possibly could have done. Like, because like the rest of the team was on the ship, and it's like we could just die right there. Like we don't know what's here, but like it's also like science team out. Like,
Also, just so everybody knows, it's pretty easy to die in the mothership system.
Yeah.
It is
Yes.
not
Yes,
difficult
it's
at
very
all.
easy to just get popped. And at that point, I don't think I knew about Peter's combat capabilities, and Alex didn't spoil it. So I was like, we're so frail. Like, you have a crappy body save. And he's like, I do.
Yeah, I have. Well, because for Peter in that mode, he doesn't. He can't access, or it couldn't access that.
Yeah,
at the time.
I don't think Alex knew about that mode until episode 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I remember us saying, like,
Blowfish mode,
two
right?
freaking science nerds going
man.
on this with Tommy's drone. Like, we're going to get killed. I think the other moment is just because I'm a big, like, Kung Fu movie fan. The throwdown in the noodle shop.
That was fun.
For like
I
throwing
missed
woks
that.
at people, and I think at one point Kiko slides over a counter and kicks somebody. Like, it was, noodle shop rumble will always be.
I threw a bottle and it didn't do anything, so you're welcome.
That's right.
There's
I
two
just
badasses
imagine
and then
all of us
Tommy.
like in a noodle shop brawl, like hitting people with woks and stuff, and I just love
That's
it.
amazing. I was
a
bummed
giant-
out I missed that episode. I ended up getting a real bad migraine, and I couldn't be on camera. And like,
Oh,
so
no.
That's why. That's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I wasn't there. It was just like I just got hit with it like an hour before the show, and I was like, like I was trying to fight through it, and it just wasn't working, and I had to call Josephine and be like, I'm sorry.
I was like, I'll never forgive you.
Yeah, we just haven't talked since. This is the first time we're talking.
Yeah.
Still
Never face
hasn't
to face,
forgotten.
Faked it well.
Brian.
Nice.
Wait,
Anybody
well,
else have
Alex,
any moments that stick out?
You didn't answer yours, did you?
Oh no, I really liked Dr. Ruha and I's therapy session.
Oh shit! I forgot.
I really
that
liked
was
that.
Really good.
That weird therapy session where, which turned out to not, and at the time I wasn't sure whether Peter was lying or not. Like, I was just saying stuff and being like this, and like I was like, I wonder if this is gonna turn out to be a lie or not. And so like.
I feel like it's important to convey to the audience, like, so much of what we do is, I'm gonna say these words and I'll figure out what they meant later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I was really, and like that was like, I really enjoyed that conversation, and when the episode came out, the music that was over it was great. It was just this weird, creepy, but also kind of nice conversation. Like, it was just, I really had a lot of fun with that scene. And then the first time I got to transform was cool, except
Yeah.
for my description of transforming. because it was so, I visualized it so perfectly in my head, and then when I went to say it, it was just like, bleh. And I was just like, and then I got to do it again. I was like, I get to redo this, I get to explain it, and I again was just like,
Pudding.
I could never get it out the way I wanted it to look. Like the picture in my head is not what I was able to describe.
It's just like it's pufferfish, right? You just
I
we
just
didn't
removed the
help.
skull
I'm sorry.
and run around. Like that's
everything.
I imagine the scene from Mission Impossible. Is it Mission Impossible where Cable like reloads his? Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Henry
The
Cavill
fight,
does
the
the,
bathroom fight.
comes out of the fucking,
And he, and he like basically reloads his arms.
Oh, yeah,
Like I
yeah,
thought it was that. And then he grows a mustache. Y'all need to
Yes.
watch that
What?
scene. You are missing
Yeah.
out on
movie
life.
is weird.
But he legitimately reloads his arms.
His
He's like,
arms.
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
he gets buffer, and I was like, "Is this man an android?"
Yeah,
Yes.
So when you described Peter, I was like, "Henry Cavill from the bathroom." I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm in
No,
your
that-
brain, Alex. I got it.
What
You're
it
going.
was the like the plates that like hold his the like seams in his construction separate because the muscle cording inside of his body has expanded. So he then ends up having these plates instead of a seamless skin. It's like plates of flesh under, and you see the cording beneath. And then his face splits apart, and you see the mechanical workings of the skull structure underneath, and the sides of his face are out here. And you just have these like mechanical eyes and mouth and everything that are underneath. And like that's what I was trying to say,
It's
but
like
it just
the-
came out with like
like
he
the-
puffs up.
It's
And I
not
was just
canon.
like-
Sorry, it's not canon. So.
Is it,
Yeah.
Ghost, is it Ghost in the Shell? Where it's,
Yeah,
they've
it was
got
very
that
Ghost in the
split
Shell.
thing?
That kind of where the plates kind of come off
That's
and like
way more
Like
terrifying.
Legion
Yeah.
from
that.
Mass
Yeah,
Effect.
I wanted it to be
You, like,
scary.
see all
Yes.
yeah.
That's way more
Yeah.
terrifying than what I envisioned.
Yeah, I know, and because I just
Bane
fucking rolled a
from
one
the
on my
'90s
description.
movie.
Yeah, yeah. I described
And
Bane
Kiko's
from
like
Batman
your
Forever.
poison ivy that like hits the button.
Yeah.
I could talk about that movie all day. I
The
get me
Batman
off
and
the topic.
Robin.
It was so depressing when I said it. I was
No.
just like, "Fuck!" I fucked that up so bad. Like it was just,
Flesh plate. You're just gonna say flesh plate.
yeah.
I love the I love the fake kind of stormtrooper moment between Buck and Tommy when you guys were delivering the rations.
2024, we're doing a spinoff. Buddy Cop. We're doing the spinoff.
I was a big fan of the spa episode. There's something about splitting the party and then everybody trying to play cool about what was going on. I was imagining like mob boss baths, right? Like you watch movies with like Yakuza baths,
Yeah,
except
yeah.
it's like big bads. And then just trying to play cool through that, and then like picking up information, just because it was a complete flip from everything we'd done prior to that.
Yeah.
And we got the
No,
trench coat
I'm just
over
remembering that massage scene.
Yeah.
Josephine.
Susan.
I don't even remember what name Susan.
It was Susan for sure. Chat
When we were
remembers.
playing it, I was questioning if Kiko knew about the hidden, like, base and everything there. Like, I still don't know as a character, but I question that. Like, were we even supposed to relax, or were we there for another mission? You know. So
Yeah,
Always be mission.
yeah.
That
Who
Susan thing
fucking
was so fucking
knows?
funny.
Oh, I have enjoyed
That's so
like
stupid.
yeah. I've had so much fun
And,
and
like-
I laughed so much this season, which I think was just
Yeah.
like great.
We've got a couple of questions left. One is from Guy Vox. It's about Xander and Asher. They want to know how you guys described Asher to Xander, because he definitely put his mark on it.
Yeah.
I'll even pull up the email I sent.
Yeah,
but-
we send off emails to the special guests that are coming on, and they've got an information kind of like spread of all the backstory of
I
the world.
knew that would happen.
And
God damn it.
Oh.
Womp womp.
It's
there's
fine.
there's an information spread of the world and the backstory, and Josephine clips out any relevant information from previous episodes and sends it to them like as video clips. So any of the moments I had
Oh, wow.
been Asher, she clipped out to show Xander like who he was. And like, I mean, my version of Asher was just like, he was just supposed to be an awkward guy, who like that. All I imagined was he was awkward, and
that.
he was like, he was like,
We said he's seen some shit.
He's seen some shit. Like
Yeah.
he's changed. So like whoever he was before, you don't know him anymore because he's like been to the asylum and like
Yeah. So
he's been in and out of that system.
I sent him 2 clips, which was when Asher was hired, right? Like outside the bar, and Asher was like very much like, "Are you planning on meeting the other?" You know, like very interested. And then the second clip I sent was when we're on the ship in season 1, and we learn more about what his experience was like with them, and how like everyone lost their minds, and like he divulges that. So those are the 2 clips I sent Xander, and so he went off of that.
Yeah.
It just went.
I told him
left
he had an
field.
implant to work with. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that
I love
that moment
him.
where he answers the communicator. You have reached the communicator
Yeah,
of Asher
so
Lynch,
good.
and he's on it.
So many good bits. So many good bits. It's just like, all right, we're doing this. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Uh,
And Xander does that to me every time I play with him. Every time I play with Xander, he does something where I'm like, how are you this good at this? Like, I'm just like, how are you so good at doing this that you just out of nowhere, you're like, here's this fucking character. And I'm just like, where did that come from?
Like he's ordering a pizza.
yeah.
I told him to take the character and make it his own. So like, don't like anything I had done was just it was really the bare minimum to give them some other crew members that could potentially die. That was basically like, I was like, well, they need some cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
I've got
all lived.
yeah.
So far.
Well,
Baxter
I mean,
does not
Baxter
count.
possibly, yeah.
He was not.
Oh,
we
Baxter
didn't
Veda, yeah.
hire him.
He wasn't
was,
a crew member.
He was a tagger on. What is it
Yeah.
called? You know.
Tag along?
Yeah.
Tag-alongs? Stowaway?
Yeah.
Stowaway. Yeah.
You knew he was
Another.
So we invited him on the ship.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
knew he was there.
Yeah, but he was still a stowaway. I mean, just
I
look
mean,
at him.
kinda.
Stowaway. Thank you. Anyway.
My favorite sign off line was Alex's at the end of that episode. He's like, "That Baxter Vader's an asshole."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing, is that Peter was really only supposed to swear when no one was around. Because he didn't want to do it in front of people. Because his whole thing was trying to be as unthreatening as possible to make everybody else comfortable. Like, he was trying to make everybody comfortable, so he's trying to be as robotic as possible so that people know he's a robot and don't get the weird uncanny valley thing. So he's trying, that's why the speech pattern is the way it is, because he can talk normally. Like, he can
That
just
is
be like,
so
hello, my name is
funny.
Peter. So he does I would like to know if you, and he does that speech modulation to be more robotic, to make
that.
people comfortable.
Awesome.
What?
That's awesome.
Interesting. That's really cool. So like
Which
when
is
the rest
why
of the
you hear Peter not do it sometimes. Because he's stressed out about something and thinking, and his more processing power is in another area. And so all of a sudden he'll be like, so we have to go into this thing. And he'll speak smoothly.
I love it.
That's fucking rad, dude. That's an amazing choice. So like when the crew goes to sleep, you're just like swearing up a storm.
That's why when he was building the House of Cards, he was just like, and then we take one and we put it right here. Because he's just talking to no one or to Warden. And like,
I love Peter and Warden's interactions always.
Yeah.
Always.
That's
I can't
probably
figure that,
one of
Peter.
my,
I know you can't tell me that. It's
the diagnostic with Warden in season
Oh
1.
yes.
yeah.
Where I was cracking myself up. I could barely hold it together, and I was like, "I'm just doing this for humans. This isn't for you." And it was like, it was just, it was in the simulated world.
I love it.
This
This
like
isn't for you.
This isn't for you. It's for humans. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
need to know this. We don't need to talk.
Yeah, two completely
We don't
different
need to
AIs
talk.
talking to
What's
each other.
AI chat.
It was so funny, just like two AIs that work so differently talking to each other, just like I'm inside of another robot. Like it's like
So I've got one more question from me, and it's probably for Josephine. But how can I get either a die-cast model or a miniature of the Destiny ship?
yeah.
Whoa.
I mean,
Well,
3D prints are plausible.
Ah,
I got one sitting right next to me here. Let's
Let's
do it.
That'd be cool.
We
Could
do have a
be-
3D
that's-
model, so
It
We
depends
do
on-
have a 3D
so,
model,
I mean,
yeah.
it would need a little.
Oh.
There's two. So there's a 3D model used for the schematics that Brandon made. That looks nothing like the patch, which is a
Well,
very
yeah,
stylized
obviously
spaceship.
we're not in the spaceship on the patch.
What?
Grab
Yeah, I
the
just,
patch.
I
Oh, are
just
we not?
remember that one episode.
I thought we all turned into 2D
That's like
cartoons.
Peter's
in
stock
this-
clip art,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
Peter
picture.
going and just printing out a picture.
That would be so funny. This is our ship. No.
That's it. Yep.
Two
Yep.
windows.
I want a
then.
model of that.
We have a 3D model I blocked out really
With Marvin the
quickly.
Martian inside.
But yeah, we do have the 3D model. Yeah.
It's possible I could fix up the file, upload to Shapeways, and it would be
Rad.
a printable file from there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe that's
Right.
a good idea for
Next
some
tier.
merch
It's a
or
tier.
something.
I
Yeah,
dig it.
because
I'd
we
be all
are
over
gonna
it.
be fundraising for season 3. Then maybe we'll put that in the mix of
Yeah.
get this.
If you
made.
buy enough Pepsi, we'll get you a real one.
You would,
Sell enough magazines, I'll give you
you
a
would
space.
have you would have at least one.
To answer, I see some questions about like season 3. So
Season
season
three, yeah.
3 obviously needs some funding. I've done as much as I can, like sort of getting funds beforehand. That's why it's like there's only 3,000 that we need to raise. But I'm hoping that I can do a sort of weekend event. We're probably going to take about a month off just because I need
Yeah.
time to do that and gives everyone a break in between
Yeah.
seasons of going, week to week. But yeah, we'll do a weekend fundraising event and go from there. Any of the LA by Night Eclipse crossover fans we're doing Alex and I are also selling the Jasper Eva prints that Michael drew, signed copies of those to go towards season 3 funding. So there will be a few things like that. But yeah, mainly we'll have a big weekend sci-fi event.
And by that, she means she's doing all the work, and then she shows up at my house and has me sign them. That's what's happening here. I just want you all to know is that I'm doing none of that work. She's doing all of it.
Yeah, and it's most of Alex and Ed's relationship in general, though. So.
Wow.
Jasmine.
Wow.
I told you we
Comment?
broke up. Look,
Yeah.
Jasper never done. These prints don't matter anymore.
Wait, does that mean Eva's single?
Yeah.
There's a La Sombra in Seattle.
Oh, hey, Betty. Right?
That-
Okay.
I thought you called her Patty for a second, and I was like,
I'm only like 110,
better-
cuter than an Nosferatu.
Oh. Anyway, we'll stop talking about Vampire the Masquerade right now.
I can talk about that forever.
There you go.
I
would love-
I have a quick plug, real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd love for everyone to talk about sort of like what else they've got that they're working on and got coming up as we take this time off between seasons and everything. So Brandon,
Well,
why
then
don't you start?
I'll start. I released music today on Bandcamp, made with actual sounds captured by the Perseverance rover on Mars.
I'm gonna play
which
it
is
in
pretty
the
dope.
background.
The link is in the chat.
That's
Yeah.
really rad.
Chat.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a 2-track
Yeah.
single available on Bandcamp, and today is a Bandcamp Friday, so if you buy today, I don't pay any fees, so that's cool.
Dope.
That is great.
Rad.
I'm playing it right now, by the way. That
Oh,
way
awesome.
people
Yeah,
can
let's go.
preview it while we plug.
There's an ambient track and then a more bassy, beady track. So yeah.
And Brian.
Well, Brandon, Patrick, I, and our friend Ashley, we're on a podcast together. 1031spky.com. It's spooky horror nihilism. I'll let Pat go into that more. I run.
That's all he talks about.
I run an online art competition in October called Drawloween. I don't know if any of you guys are artists, but every October I put out a calendar of 31 horror, fun art prompts and puns. And if you're looking for something artsy to do in October, I hope you'll join us and draw. And then all my creative content's over on internetbroadcastsystem.com, so check that out. my Twitch is there too, internet broadcast system. Hope to see you guys around.
Yeah. Alex, you go next. It doesn't make sense for the overlay. I'm going by Discord order on my screen.
Wait, I go next? Is that what that meant?
Yeah, that
Yes.
means you go next.
Okay. I mean, I'm Alex Ward. Hi. I don't have a lot to. Well, okay. Yeah, I do.
Are you kidding?
What? Okay, hold on. One, there's a movie that's coming out called Son, S-O-N, that the trailer just dropped on IMDb, which will come out at some point, which was weird because I heard it on a podcast advertisement the other day, and I was like,
Wait a minute.
But anyway, it's a horror movie. It's got some people in it. I just forgot their names. It's fine. You'll recognize them. And also, on the 17th of this month, it's the 17th, right, Josephine?
It's the 17th, yes.
The 17th of this month, I will be running a one-shot over on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/AlexWard777. I will be doing a one-shot of Vampire the Masquerade for some people. Should we say who's in it?
We haven't announced who's in it yet. We should probably save it, but it's a good
It's some good people. Some people you'll recognize. Actually, you'll recognize everybody. Well, except for one, maybe. I don't know if you know what one person looks like. Anyway. That's it, really, I think, right? Okay. I don't know.
This is what I mean by I do all the work and Alex probably.
This is why we need
No,
the
like,
breaks
it's just,
between
I
the
don't have,
seasons.
like, my, it's been a pandemic for a year. I don't,
Yes,
my
yes.
work is, I don't have anything to really promote other than.
No, that's good.
It was just funny. You're like, yeah, you'll recognize a lot of people except one of them. They're nobody,
No,
but
it's not
everybody
that.
else.
Like, you know my name. It's just, I don't know if you've seen them on camera because
It's a behind
Anyway.
the scenes
Oh.
person.
it's a behind the scenes person that's
Who's
normally not on
coming out.
camera. So,
I thought you were.
Talking shit.
I interpreted that differently. I
No.
thought you were like, except for one of the people.
no, they're great.
Jasmine? Oh man, she's gone. You know what, Patrick? You tell us.
Okay, great. As Brian mentioned before, mainly working on the Necronomicon Comedy Hour. That's our podcast. It's sketch comedy, improv, original creepypasta in there too. Some original songs by Brandon, myself, etc. In the mix. Please check that out. It is my passion project. I know it's theirs as well. And we're recording some more creepypasta this weekend as well for it. So hopefully
Awesome.
that'll drop soon. Yeah.
It's really good, and there's like fake advertisements that are hilarious.
Yeah,
It's just like it's
I gotta listen
wonderful
to it.
improv. It's really funny.
It's
We're
my love.
trapped in-
It is my love.
Trapped inside of a basement, forced to do AM radio for the underworld and the spooky.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you'll join us.
Fun time.
That sounds awesome.
All right, Jasmine, come on.
Oh yeah. Hi. Hello. I'm Jasmine, that bronze girl Bhullar. I'm a full-time content creator on Twitch. I'm developing on a new project that I can't talk about, so that's fun. I'm gonna have another show that I think comes out Monday that's not announced, so that's fun. So I can't talk about that either. And then I have a project releasing in a couple weeks with a bunch of people that I don't like, but Josephine's producing that, and I don't think I'm allowed to talk about that one either.
A bunch of people you don't like.
Do we just need to all sign NDAs real quick? We can do this.
NDA.
Everybody.
Yeah, I have said I have dropped that there is a D&D show coming.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I wasn't
just know
sure. So
that
yeah,
Jasmine
there's
has shit going on, but she can't talk about it.
I haven't
The
said.
thing is, like, so do I, and I just didn't mention it.
Follow the socials for more information
Yeah.
later.
The
Yeah.
Yeah.
cast hasn't been announced, but there is a new ongoing D&D show that will be
Yes.
launching. Yeah. And
yes.
Soon.
on my channel. It's gonna be Tuesday nights, and it's my first time DMing on my channel, so
Nice.
I can do whatever the fuck I want
Yeah.
and have whatever fucking players I want,
Terrifying.
and that's
So much power.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
there it is.
All right. Knew it.
Kill all of them off.
My answers are like contained within all of that. Vampire Masquerade one shot. It's for charity. It's for Women's History Month.
Thank
There's
you. You're so
also-
much better at this than me.
Nice.
On March 17th, we'll be raising money for, except I forgot the charity we chose.
Yeah,
'cause
same.
There were a lot. But we'll be raising money towards a women's charity, and that should be a lot of fun. It's I'm excited to share the cast with you. The majority of them are comedians, so expect it to be. It's like Alex giving us a creepy vampire story, but we'll see what happens.
It'll also be my first time DMing vampire ever. I've
I
never
can tell
story told
you said
vampire before.
DMing.
I know.
Really?
I said DMing. Storytell. I've never story told an actual game of vampire before.
That's shocking.
I've played
to
in the
me.
World of Darkness, but I've never story told vampire.
Well, I'm excited.
You know what a
for
vampire is,
that.
right? So we're good there.
Yeah, I think.
I'm
They,
excited.
they grow a lot of fur at the full moon, right?
Oh my god.
Do they
An
the bottom things or the top?
That's gonna be great. March 17th
Oh,
in the evening.
That's
Yeah.
one thing we could talk about. I am storytelling for Josephine
Oh yes.
next week for GaryCon.
Whoops. Forgot that one.
Yeah, we're raising money for
Not the
Extra
only
Life.
part of
I'm
that,
the
it's
storyteller. It's gonna be very comedic and ludicrous in general. And yeah, it's got some of my
I thought you were saying Ludacris was gonna be on it.
Oh, that's a big get.
that. I wish I had the clout to pull Luda.
I mean,
Luda, but I do not have that clout
Oh,
at this
God.
time.
Casts go to sleep.
Give it a few years.
I'd be so happy. Yeah, that's GaryCon. That's on the 13th.
Yes, and we've got B. Dave, Josephine, David Nett, Todd Stashwick, and Michael Sinclair.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
so it's
Nice.
going to be a very fun group of vampires.
Yeah. So, VTM charity, VTM GaryCon, D&D show starting. I stream on Twitch during the week, but you're better off watching Jasmine streams. And that's
You're better off
Yourself,
watching
all right.
anyone's streams
That's
but mine,
everything.
honestly.
We'll have it. Season 3 will
I'll
be
take the
coming.
viewers.
Yeah, and
but
then
as you can tell, there's been a bunch of other stuff going on that they're going to be working on.
season 3 will be coming. I can't not be busy is what has been clear. Alex, do you want to share any? Thank you for hosting this for us.
Yes,
really.
thank you.
Hey, of course. Thank you
thanks.
guys so much for having me on board. It was fun getting to interact with you because I've watched most of them on VOD, to be honest, but I've watched since the beginning, and
Damn
it's
it, Alex.
I know, but it's amazing to watch this thing come to life, and you guys have put together a really awesome project, and I'm
And-
excited for season 3. So everybody, please donate so it can happen.
And I want to add that if you recognize, I don't remember if I said at the beginning, but if you recognize Alex's voice, it's because he did our season 1 recap voiceover for us.
And he was
The
also
Oracle.
in
Yes.
an end cap of LA by Night.
It's true.
Right. Yeah. The
Here
The
we
second.
are
book of
sneaking
night.
him in.
Alex for guest season 3.
Yeah, Alexander
What?
Oracle Alexander Harmony. I mean, are you kidding? He's a great character. I love how
Yeah.
how judgmental of everything we were doing he was. So it's great.
You decided to what?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But did you?
Thanks for having
did
me
you-
on, guys.
Do you have anything that you want to plug, Alex? I would.
I mean, I'll hop aboard the NDA train.
Okay. Yeah.
Voice acting projects that I can't talk about, but follow me on Twitter, and I'll announce it when I can.
Yay! Oh yeah. Also, I have movies on Shudder. They're horror, so if you like horror, watch
Yeah.
those. Scare Package, Mortuary Collection. Okay, that's it. We just forget. We forget everything.
Yeah, I got other stuff I could talk about, but I can't, so.
I'm dropping a new
follow us
mixtape
everywhere.
under the
Okay.
title
Okay.
DJ Beats Majid.
Thank you,
Jesus is good.
everyone, for tuning in. Follow Eclipse Sci-Fi for updates on when Season 3 will be coming back. And thank you guys for supporting us so far. And we can't wait to tell more of this silly, scary sci-fi story.
It's for sure silly.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, y'all.
Night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.